Hello, my people. It's been about 2 weeks since the last time that I posted some content. And since that time, I've actually been thinking pretty heavily about something that I want to briefly talk about today. Y'all know I like to be outside. Not the type of outside that y'all probably thinking, but it's a beautiful day out and I'm in between meetings. So I just wanted to shoot something real quick. To just talk about something that I think can be helpful to many of you, and that is mindfulness. Most people, when they think about mindfulness, they probably think of, some type of meditation. And it definitely is a form of meditation, right? But what's really the depth of mindfulness is just being very present and aware of what's happening around you, within you, just being very present. And it's important to practice that from time to time, because a lot of times, especially those who may struggle with anxiety, right? And every one of us in some way, shape, or form, let me just mention that, have some struggle interaction with anxiety at some point in our lives. We don't necessarily have to be diagnosed with anxiety to experience anxiety. So I think that's important to mention while we're on that topic. But anytime that we're feeling anxious in any way, shape, or form, a lot of time there's a fixation. There's a fixation on something maybe that has happened in the past, and or fear of something happening in the future. Mindfulness puts us in a present space, a space of presence, and it gives our mind a break. It gives us a break from worry. It gives us a break from stressing over things that we really just have no control over, right? And mindfulness allows for us to put into practice and focus on what's happening in the here and now. And so there are many, many different forms of mindfulness. And I apologize, y'all. It's a little windy out. It feels amazing, but hopefully it doesn't mess up too much of the sound. But there are many, many different ways that you can practice mindfulness and give yourself mental breaks. I talk about this often with clients, that our brain needs it. Similarly to a computer, right? If you never charge it up, you never give it a break, it can crash. And our brains work the same exact way. If we're not giving our minds and even our bodies a break, it can crash. Some of us, especially in the Black community, have experienced this, right? Burnout. And so it becomes incredibly important to make sure that we are being very mindful and intentional, that's the other part of mindfulness, about practicing presence of mind, presence of body, presence of thought, presence of feelings. And so I want to give you guys a few examples of things that you can do, even the busiest person. This is something I actually mentioned to my clients as well. The busiest person, even the busiest person, can take a moment and practice mindfulness. You can take a minute. You can literally be going from one place to another, just like I am right now in between meetings, and just take a moment to step outside, look at the trees, look at the texture, look at the colors, right? It can be you, maybe if I was indoors, right? And usually in between my sessions, even if they're back to back, I take a moment, I take a minute, I time myself, and I may do some deep breathing where I'm just focusing in on my breath for that minute. Nothing else, right? And that allows for me to reset. So I'm not taking what maybe I took from my last client into my next client, right? It can be something as simple as, praying. For those of us, again, that are believers or spiritual in some way, shape, or form, maybe I'm just being present and practicing gratitude in my prayer. I'm being thankful for all the things I have right now in this present moment. No matter what I'm going through, all of the stresses and worries of what I have going on, at the end of the day, I still have these things. And so I'm grateful for these things in this very present moment, right? Another way to practice mindfulness is being aware of your feelings. Most of us, when we're upset, we're uncomfortable, anxious, angry, all of those things, Particularly again in the Black community, we tend to get very uncomfortable about things that we can't control, and so it makes us have increased anxiety, right? And for any of us that can really recall and remember like that feeling of being anxious, it is not a very comfortable feeling, right? And so sometimes I encourage my clients to lean into that. Don't allow your fear to overtake you to the point of feeling like, oh my gosh, if I feel this emotion, if I feel my sadness, if I feel my anxiety, if I feel my anger, then I'm not going to be able to have any type of control. I'm going to lose it, right? But in actuality, when we're practicing mindfulness, right, it's about intentionality, right? It's about being present. Also non-judgmental, right? When we're practicing some type of meditation, and specifically mindfulness, it's about being present intentionally and not judging what's happening. So when I talk about these feelings that are uncomfortable, what makes it helpful when we're being mindful of them is we're observing it. We're noticing it. I'm noticing that I'm angry right now, and my anger is showing up maybe with a clenched fist. Maybe my thoughts are racing. Maybe I am tense in my body, right? Maybe I notice my heart is racing. So I'm being attuned to that. I'm being present with that. I'm not judging it. I'm not saying I shouldn't be mad. I shouldn't be anxious. All of those things. I'm not saying any of that, right? I'm just being present with it, noticing it, being intentional with it, and I'm not judging it. And so I think that mindfulness can be so powerful for many, many people. Like I said, I practice it myself. I think that it really helps you to refocus and reset, especially from a busy day. It's a good transition piece also. Maybe after a long work day, you give yourself a moment, maybe you have a 30-minute drive from work to home, and when you get home, you got to jump back into mommy mode or wife mode or husband mode or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that you have to do, you can give yourself a transition space. Many of us, when we're driving in our cars, myself included, I used to do this a lot. I would zone out. I would get in my car. Sometimes I wouldn't even remember what happened between point A and point B. I'm like, oh, I'm here. And so one of the things I've started to practice is being mindful on my drive, allowing it to be a mindful drive where during that time, I'm noticing the trees, how bright the sun is. If it's raining, I'm noticing the pitter-pat, right, of the rain. And so what happens is we're giving our mind a break. We're allowing ourselves to get ourselves out of the stress, the worry, the things that our mind naturally does, start planning and thinking of 50 million things. And we're allowing ourselves to just experience the moment, because the present is a gift, right? So it gives us a moment to appreciate that gift of the present moment. I'm hoping that everyone that's seeing this video, I'm hoping and praying that you are well overall. I hope your families and your friends are well. And if nothing else, I hope that this video in some way helps you. As I do try to mention, I don't always mention, but just putting it out there, you can definitely reach out to me if any of these videos are inspiring you or triggering you. If it's something that's happening within you and you're just like, I think I need to talk to someone. I am a resource. I also am a therapist. I am currently accepting clients as well. And so if you're one of those people that's looking for some support as you navigate life, feel free to reach out. Even if we're not a good fit, I still tell people I'm still a resource. I know a lot about this profession and resources that are out there to help people find a good fit. So reach out. If you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. Feel free to comment. I love when people do that. It just lets me know that this is really impacting people in some way, shape, or form. Let me know your thoughts. If there are things that you want for me to talk about, something that's been on your mind or you've noticed it, especially within the community that this is particularly for, right? Black women. Not that anyone else can't watch this, right? But if something comes to mind that you want me to talk about, feel free to drop that in the comment box or reach out to me directly. Again, I hope and pray that everyone is well, that you're taking good care of yourselves, and I hope that you have an amazing day on purpose.